even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head.
Hi, everybody. Well, welcome back to the Golodner Report, as produced and directed by Jeremy Jason. Please follow us on Ad Newswire. That's ADDNEWSWIRE, Ad Newswire on YouTube. I want to talk about something that's recent, very, very recent and going on as we speak in Los Angeles with the riots. One of the problems today with anything having to do with news, right? Whether it be what's going on in the Middle East, in Gaza, whether it be what's going on in Los Angeles, whether it be what's going on in the administration today, in the Trump administration, or in the House of Representatives or the Senate. Here's the biggest problem today that I believe. Low information. People are low information, yet they have a lot to say, right? So they have a lot to say without having real information. They'll talk about the Middle East. What have they read? What have they researched? What do they know? There's a great book called 1948 that talks about the birth of Israel, and it goes back to the Ottoman Empire. And unless you've really studied that and you go back to really the 14th, 15th, the 16th century and look at how the Middle East developed and what happened there with the Ottoman Empire and how it controlled the Middle East, and then how the British came in and World War II, and then what happened with the birth of a nation in 1948 of Israel. You know, you don't really have any information other than what you're watching on CNN or even Fox News for that matter. People are low information. If they're looking at the riots, do they really have an idea? They're just getting information from CNN. They're getting information from other news sources. They're watching Joe Rogan podcasts or whatever podcast they're watching without really doing research, right? I saw something on Facebook that said, it talked about Riley Gaines just won $20 million. And no, she did not. There's something and then people respond and comment on Facebook, yay, Riley, keep men out of women's sports. Well, yeah, that's true. Keep men out of women's sports, but stop posting fake information for clicks, right? Is there something before the court right now? There absolutely is, but there's been no resolution to it. And my comment was, stop posting fake shit, right? So low information is the problem. People are low information. Even in sports, right? People just like blindly follow sports and they don't really understand the game or what's behind it or anything. So that's what I want to just talk about. And then we'll talk specifically about the Los Angeles riots, you know. And then you see the people who are watching CNN and MSNBC. They just came here looking for a better life. And look what you're doing to them. They just want, no, they didn't come here looking for a better life. They came here because in their country, if they got caught selling drugs, if they were independent drug dealers, the cartels would cut their heads off and kill their families because, no, you can't go against the cartel. Or if your government caught you, you went to jail forever, and that's not a jail where you got basic foods like fried chicken and hamburgers and all kinds of yummy stuff. No, you got some bread and some rice and maybe lucky to get a piece of meat. So you didn't want to go to jail there. So these people don't, look, do some people come here looking for a better life? Sure they do. But we'd like them to come here the right way. Come here the right way. Get yourself a job. You know, remember, I mean, I'm going to be 69 years old. When I was a kid and you got into a taxi cab, who was the driver? It was some old Jewish guy, some old Italian guy. Then after that, then came the Indians. The Indians were driving cabs. Then after the Indians moved out of driving cabs and they went into more lucrative businesses, right? Then you had Arabs driving. Then after that, you started having Africans. People come into the country, start at these entry-level jobs, and then work their way out. And that's how it should be, right? You don't come in and start as the CEO of IBM, right? You come in and maybe you start as a salesperson if you're lucky, or washing the toilets or something, you know? So, but most of these people came in illegally. They came in with the understanding that they were going to get all kinds of free shit. Many of them came in with the intent to engage in criminality, right? Human trafficking, drug sales, you know, all these things. And they came here because they were told, oh, don't worry, the police are weak. The government is weak. So, and now you have people coming in from South America, Central America, and in California, they're waving Mexican flags in protest of illegals being arrested and deported. You know? So this is the craziness about it. And then breaking up pieces of sidewalk, throwing rocks at cops, setting cars on fire, blocking the highways, not allowing good, hardworking people to get to work. And yet you have the people watching TV. They're here, you know, the liberals here in South Florida. They just want to come for a better life. Well, that's bullshit, you know? So I just want to put this out there and say this. Don't be low information. And if you are low information, keep your mouth shut, because we don't want to hear your nonsense and your drivel, okay? If you want to learn, read up on this, do some historical research, learn something about it. Just don't parrot talking points from MSNBC and CNN. Actually do the research and say something that has some validity to it. Other than that, shut the fuck up.